By the time I realized the singing was not the wind, the snow had already buried the trail. When I saw the torches moving through the whiteout, I knew I was not supposed to be there. I was an idiot to go out that day, even for a quick hike. The forecast changed so fast. One second it was clear, the next, a blizzard hit that trapped me. I live at the base of a pretty popular mountain range. I have hiked the same loop so many times I could probably do it half asleep. About 6 miles, gentle incline, a couple of overlooks, then back down. It is the kind of trail you take visiting family on to show off the scenery. Safe, familiar. That morning the weather app said light snow late in the evening. I figured I had hours. It was one of those gray, flat days where everything looks like it is on pause. I just wanted to stretch my legs, clear my head, and be back before dark. I packed light. A small day pack, a cheap emergency bivy, some snacks, a headlamp just in case. No big deal. I told my roommate I would be back for dinner and did not even bother to leave a specific route because I had done this hike 100 times. Those were my actual words. I still hear them sometimes. The first part of the hike was exactly what I expected. A few flurries, nothing serious. The trail was empty, weekday off-season, and I liked the quiet. I had service most of the way up, checking the radar every so often. It looked fine, a band of snow way off to the west, moving slow. Then about 3 miles in, my signal dropped. Not unusual up there. I tucked my phone away and headed for a little lean-to shelter that sits just off the main trail. Some local outdoors group built it years ago. It is basically 3 walls and a roof, open on one side, but it has saved my ass from rain a bunch of times. I was maybe 10 minutes from it when the world just changed. One gust of wind came down the slope so hard it almost knocked me sideways. The temperature felt like it plunged 10 degrees in a breath. The flurries went from lazy little flakes to a wall of white. I do not know how else to describe it. One second I could see the next bend, and the next second the trail in front of my boots was just gone. Snow slammed sideways so thick it felt like someone had thrown a sheet over my head. My eyelashes iced together, my breath crystallized instantly. The sound of the wind drowned out everything else. I turned in a slow circle and realized with this cold rush of panic that I could not see any of my usual landmarks. The big boulder on the right of the trail, the dip where a seasonal stream crosses, nothing, just white. I probably should have turned around right then, but the lean-to was not far. I knew it was off to my left somewhere. I could picture it in my head. I told myself I would just wait the worst of it out and then head down. I hunched over and pushed through the wind, counting steps, trying to stay oriented. It felt like forever, but it was probably only 15 minutes before I practically walked into the edge of the lean-to. The dark outline of it just appeared out of the storm, and I nearly cried from relief. Inside it was still cold, but at least the wind was not shredding my face. I stomped the snow off my boots, ate a granola bar with numb fingers, and wrapped myself in the crinkly emergency bivy. The snow piled up in front of the open side, shrinking my view to a small, shifting rectangle of white. I remember thinking this will pass. Storms move fast here. Give it an hour. I have no idea how long I sat there listening to the wind. Time got weird. The light outside went from dull gray to darker gray. My phone was useless, no service, battery dropping fast in the cold, so I turned it off to save power. That is when I heard it. At first I thought it was just the wind changing pitch, that low moaning sound you get when it squeezes through trees. But after a minute, I realized there was a pattern to it. A rise and fall that did not fit the random howl of gusts. It sounded like singing faint far away, a drawn-out droning kind of chant. No words I could make out, just syllables, a note held too long, then another slightly off. I told myself it was the wind. Or maybe some radio from a snowmobile way off. People do stupid stuff in bad weather all the time. Maybe I was not the only idiot on the mountain, but it kept getting louder. The chant sort of vibrated in my chest more than in my ears. It was low, guttural, and weirdly steady, like whoever was making it did not need to breathe. Underneath it, there was this soft crunching sound. Snow being packed under boots, multiple sets moving slowly. I slid closer to the wall of the lean-to and killed my headlamp, even though I had not turned it on yet. It felt wrong to have any light at all. Through the swirling snow at the opening, I started to see glows, not beams like flashlights, more like flickers. Orange, warm, bobbing in a slow, deliberate line, torches. I remember my first thought was stupidly hopeful. Search and rescue. Maybe someone called me in when I did not get back, but rescue teams do not carry open flames in a blizzard, and they definitely do not chant. My heart was pounding so hard I was sure whoever was out there could hear it. I slid further back into the darkest corner of the lean-to and tucked the reflective side of the bivy underneath me so nothing would catch light. I pulled my hat down, my scarf up, trying to make myself as small as possible. The torches came closer, the chanting swelling until it filled the little shelter like a pressure. The smell hit next. A heavy, sweet, acrid scent like incense burning in a closed room. It cut right through the cold air. They passed directly in front of the opening. There were maybe 10 of them, dark, heavy cloaks, hoods up, faces mostly hidden. The snow seemed to slide off them instead of sticking. None of them spoke. Just that endless, low chant, all their voices braided together so you could not tell where one ended and the next began. Their footsteps were slow, synchronized. Crunch. Chant, crunch, chant. Every movement felt intentional, like they were in some kind of procession instead of just trying to get out of the storm. One of them stopped. He was right outside the lean-to. I could see his boots through a gap in the slats, old laced leather dark with melted snow. The torchlight painted the inside of the shelter with this fluttering orange that made everything look warped. The chanting did not stop. Not from him, not from the others. He turned his head. I could not see his face, but I could feel it. That tilt like a dog hearing a strange noise. He angled toward the opening, then toward the wall where I was pressed. Slowly, like he was triangulating something, I stopped breathing. I did not move a muscle. I focused on not shaking, which was hard because I was already shivering from the cold. For a second, it honestly felt like he was looking straight at me through solid wood, like he was not seeing with his eyes at all. The chant swelled, then dipped. The others had moved a little ahead, still in their line. After what felt like hours but was probably seconds, he turned away and took a few measured steps to catch up. The procession moved on, torches bobbing into the white. The chanting grew softer, swallowed by the storm, until finally it was just the wind again. I did not move. I sat there in that cramped, freezing corner for what had to be hours. I did not dare turn on my headlamp. Every time the wind shifted and whistled differently, my brain twisted it into that same note, that same drone. I kept expecting the orange glow to come back, for that figure to be standing right in the opening this time. At some point, the storm started to ease. I noticed because the howling dulled to a muffled roar and the light outside changed from suffocated gray to something paler. Dawn, my whole body hurt when I uncurled. I stepped cautiously to the opening and looked out. The world was smooth and white and weirdly bright. Snowdrifts came up almost to the lip of the lean-to. The trees were bent under the weight, branches creaking in the still air. What I did not see were footprints. Not mine, not theirs. Just an unbroken surface of powder stretching in every direction. I stumbled out anyway, forcing a path, and headed straight down the mountain as fast as the snow would let me. I did not look for where they had gone. I did not look back at the lean-to. I just followed the vague line of the trail I knew by heart, half sliding, half running, lungs burning in the cold. By the time I reached the trailhead, the sky was blue. Calm, like nothing had happened. Later, back home, my roommate said there had been some weird alert about a sudden cell of lake-effect snow that popped up out of nowhere over the ridge, then vanished. No one else reported getting caught in it. There was nothing in the news about rescue teams, religious groups, anything. I thought about calling the ranger station, but what was I supposed to say? Hey, did you lose a chanting torch cult in that freak blizzard? I do not hike that trail anymore. Honestly, I barely hike at all if there is even a chance of snow in the forecast. I check 3 different weather apps before I go anywhere. I watch radar like it is a security camera. Every time I am in the woods and the wind shifts just right, making that low, droning sound through the trees, my whole body locks up. I am back in that lean-to, hiding under a crinkly blanket, feeling someone tilt their head toward me through a wall. And every winter, when the first real snowstorm rolls in and the world goes white and muffled, I catch myself listening. Really listening for a note in the wind that does not belong.